All right, Lily, how's it going?
I'm great. Currently just moved back home. I am from the Bay Area originally, but made the connection with you down south because I went to school down there. So really happy about it.
Yes. So, Lily, tell us what you're up to currently and how that connects you to the softball world still.
Yeah, so currently I am assistant coaching at a junior college near my house. Like I said, I just moved back to the Bay Area. So I actually previously played at this school, so I've kind of came full circle with that. Still currently working on internship hours towards a certification to be a mental performance consultant. So that is on the horizon, hopefully next year. Fingers crossed. There's a lot of hours and connecting with people that involve that process. So, but it's well on its way. And then, soon to be mentoring with Defense Club, which I'm super hyped about.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. I think you are the only one that is solely like the main focus would be the mental game. And obviously you can do other things, but can you tell us a little bit about where you played and your experience in college?
Yeah, so I played a couple years at, excuse me, the junior college level. Right when I left high school, I didn't know where I was going to play softball. I just knew I wanted to play in college, and a little junior college found me in Nebraska. And then I spent a year out there. And then I actually came home. It just wasn't the right spot for me. And then thankfully, I'm really happy I came home because had hit that year. So that kind of me and lots of other athletes that were in school that year and in college was super tough on, but thankfully had my family supporting me in that time. And then I kind of just grinded out during COVID and found myself a school, and I found myself at in Irvine at Westcliff University. I finished my undergrad there. There was a lot of ups and downs in my softball career, but I think the main takeaway was that character building and making lifelong connections. And no matter what, I tried to set myself apart from others, putting in that work out of practice and team organized activities was super good. I actually used a year of my eligibility to go to grad school. That was just where I was at that point of my softball career. Not that I wanted to just stop playing. Um, I have a really big passion for the mental game, and I was like, let's dig into it more. And there's no better way than to go study it. So that's what I did. And then earlier this year, spring of 24, I, kind of hopped back on the softball field. I felt like I needed to close the chapter right, hang up the cleats right. So aside from all of the struggles and the highs I had playing collegiate ball, I found myself like really getting attached to mental performance and how can I be that figure for athletes that I didn't have when I was going through those things, being a student athlete, especially in college. Um,
Yeah,
but
you hit a couple of points. One big one is and the re one of the big reasons why I love that you're a one-on-one mentor is um you started at the junior college level, and that's like such a great option for so many kids.
it
And
is.
it's one thing that I think gets overlooked so much, and it stinks because
Right.
uh once kids don't get that call from like a huge school that they've always watched on TV, like, oh shoot, I'm not going to Oklahoma. Well, one, like it's so hard to like have kids like overly rooted in reality and say, hey, there's only 20 kids on the Oklahoma roster or however many there are. And they're the best kids in the country, in the world at this time. So uh like telling them to be realistic is not the most fun thing, but I think the flip side of that is just going, hey, this is a really cool way to get credits to potentially see if this is for you,
Yeah.
right? Like, and it's something that a lot of people don't even know a lot about. So I think that is one huge thing that kids and parents, when they're on with you for this initial Zoom call, can ask you about. Even that's like a really cool thing. Um, Secondly, you don't just talk about the mental game. What positions did you play in college? And
Yeah.
um, as far as going from uh, the junior college in Nebraska to going to California, can you talk a tiny bit about what that was like communicating with colleges while you're in college? Like, what does
Yeah.
that look like?
Yeah, so even back when I was in travel ball, and we'll get to that, but I I kind of found myself having to vouch for myself as an athlete, especially when I went to Nebraska. Like I was on the recruiting sites. I'm totally forgetting the name of it right now, but the coach had found me through there, and even just my mindset as an athlete going into my freshman year, that was fall of 2018. I was like, oh, I'm from California, I'm excited to go out into the Midwest. I'm going to definitely get playing time. That was just my mindset as a freshman. Like I kind of had a hot head. I put in a lot of work, and I definitely got humbled real quick when I started to see that things weren't going the right way. And I started thinking about like, well, what can I do to, set myself apart from my teammates? And, because you need stats to transfer. That's what they tell you. You need stats, you need stats. That's not always the case. I feel like if you want to play at the next level, there's always a spot for you. And I think it's great that you brought up, the whole big school D1 option. And I think it's great for a dream. And if you have the skill set at that time, it's all about timing too with this sport, I feel like. But it's it's a job, especially at that higher level. You played at that level too, and I'm sure you can vouch for like it's not meant for everyone, but for those that it's meant for, it's a grind. It's for
Mhm.
them. And then that's why you got D1, D2, D3, and AIA now. And even outside of California, I know a lot of people work with are from California, but we want to extend that too. And there's scholarships at junior colleges at the lower at that level. I wouldn't say lower. There's doesn't matter what level of softball you play at, they're all good. I know NAIA is compared to D2 a little bit, but yeah, not to segue too much, but as far as recruiting, yeah, I found myself just emailing schools, put yourself out there, vouch for yourself. And I think that goes a long way when a coach sees actual players emailing them. I think that sets you apart from other people for sure, because you're taking accountability.
Yeah, I mean, fact of the matter is, a lot of these kids, when they're going on these recruiting trips when they're 17, 18, they're kids, right? And a lot of kids, especially in the social media age, aren't great at interacting with adults or understanding that it's not just the school presenting themselves to the kids and just the kid going, right? Like a yes or no, or like watching a screen or a movie. And I'm exaggerating because there are a ton of kids that are super mature and great
Yeah.
at talking and interacting. But for those kids that might be shy or not sure what to say or just overly like introverted, we have to understand that this world and building relationships is about what you bring as well. So,
And it's scary at first, I
yeah.
remember in high school, I'd pick up the phone, I'd send an email first thing, and then I'd follow up with a phone call. And sometimes I'd be like, oh, please don't answer, please don't answer. But I actually think it's a little more nerve-wracking to leave a voicemail sometimes and then to get a coach,
Yeah, they can
saying,
re-listen to it and just go, huh,
yeah.
interesting.
Right? I'm a little stuttering over the words, but I think those are the experiences that help you grow your communication skills, and you're gonna have to do that in the real world when you're older. As far as
Absolutely.
towards
Uh,
the young athletes.
yeah, before we get to the where you from, what was travel ball like, I want to talk about this floating holographic card that's behind you. What is that?
Oh, yeah. So this is my dad's office. Actually, I'm still working on getting a wall desk in my room so I could pull it
No,
down.
I was just, what is on that card?
Yeah, it's a Darth Vader card.
Oh, sweet. Yes.
Yeah.
I thought it was
So
a
it's
Darth Vader helmet, but I'm like,
yeah.
I'm not
So
100%
like,
sure.
oh crap. Oh, I just
Oh
messed it
no.
up.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh, I messed it up. Oh no. It's
Let's
okay.
not tell your dad. Let's hope he never watches this video.
He'll fix it. But yeah, huge Star Wars fans. I think that was kind of the basis of my empathetic self. I don't know why. The balance of light and darkness has always been a thing in our family. So I
Uh,
feel like that kind of checks out.
there's some great messages, I think, in the original Star Wars. The new ones are a little bit
Yeah,
interesting to me,
a little
but
interesting.
to
Yeah.
each their own, right?
Totally. Totally.
All right,
But
back on
I'm
track.
glad you noticed the floating card that I just
So tell me, where you're from, your travel ball experience.
Yeah, so I'm from Northern California, as broad as it can be. The East Bay is like inward past Oakland, like Berkeley side of the East Bay. Um yeah, I only picked up a softball when I was like 10, 11, and I jumped right into rec ball in middle school. I remember I saw the Giants win the World Series in 2010 and I was like, I want to play. And I couldn't catch a tennis ball like at that
Oh,
age. So I just that's when the grind started, right? I'd go to the park
yeah.
every weekend with my dad and just learn the game. I'd watch a lot of baseball. And so yeah, jumped right into it. As a freshman in high school, after a little bit of experience, there was a local 18U team, nothing big named or anything, just doing some local tournaments. And I figured, well, might as well jump into 18U and get the experience right off the bat. Um, and then I don't know, I kind of found myself jumping from team to team. There were some teams that were like, oh, maybe we should have left that team sooner. As far as like team dynamic goes and outreach to schools, I quickly learned that no one's going to get you recruited for yourself. I know there are really good coaches out there that are on it, and I hope to be that way too. I've learned a lot about recruiting in that sense, and now getting the other perspective in coaching now is crazy. Yeah, there wasn't there was coaches and mentors that I now look back on that, some I didn't like. You're not always gonna like every coach. It's like same with mental performance. You got to look for a therapist that fits your vibe, right? But when it came to coaches back then, I'm really thankful for the good ones and the not so good ones because I think that taught me resilience and just taught me to work harder and that no one really can tell you your worth as a player. It's about the work that you put in and how you hold yourself. I remember early on in travel ball when I first got exposed to the recruiting tournaments, like the showcases, that there's always someone watching, whether it's a college coach or another coach from another travel ball team. And you never know what could be around the corner, always be ready for the next opportunity kind of thing. Um, but I finally found myself, I don't know if you know the team Lady Hustle. We played some SoCal tournaments down south, but that's the team I ended on. Is probably one of the best team culture travel ball teams that I've been involved with. I may have not played as much as I wanted to, but the team got a good dynamic when you're okay with your role and not playing. Um, I struggled a lot with finding my role because I oftentimes held it against myself that I hadn't been playing as long as everyone else. So I totally forgot to tell you what positions I played. I started in the outfield, like I think mostly everyone does when they start playing softball. And then I made my way to second base. I played some shortstop. I was a utility player. Um, I'm not sure if when I'm mentoring, if I want to advise uh, young athletes to choose one position and perfect it, or be a utility, know a few positions, because I see benefits in both personally. I know a lot of the game now because I have experience in different positions. But towards the end of travel ball going into college, I was like, okay, I'm an outfielder for sure. Like not gonna go anywhere else. But then, in junior college, I found myself freshman year was outfield, sophomore year was third base, and then COVID hit. And then I was going to be the third baseman slash outfielder down at Westcliff. In those first couple years, our season got canceled again there. And then yeah, so I ended with an outfield mindset for sure. That's where I ended. But I love me some third base and field too. They're two different kinds of satisfaction playing as out there. So yeah.
I think I know the
All the
answer
travel
to
ball.
I think I know the answer to this last question,
Oh
but
yeah.
what do you enjoy teaching kids? What do you enjoy impacting with the most?
Yeah, man. It's so funny. I was thinking about this yesterday before I talked to you, and um as much as I talk about softball, because my passion is in mental performance, it always just comes back to that. Um, but when it comes to kind of the mesh of softball and mental performance, I think my favorite thing for them to learn is that there will always be another opportunity, whether it's another fly ball, whether it's another at bat, heck, another game, right? Another ground ball. Um, and I do really enjoy teaching hitting and outfield as well. I love showing them that they can push themselves past something they didn't think they can do before, especially when with hitting. That's pretty much softball wise as far as coaching goes. As for the mental side, really any aspect is impactful. But I think from ages to, elementary school up until end of high school, beginning of college, if they are just simply exposed to just a few topics, I think that it will set them apart for their future, like things like breathing techniques, imagery. I'd say self-talk is probably my favorite. I've talked to you about that before. And then attention and focus, when they're young, they don't really, yes, pay attention. You tell them in school, hey, focus on this, but no one's telling them the why, how to focus on those things. Um, but yeah, the whole circling back to self-talk, I think it's an internal journey is how I like to describe self-talk. And like I said, the younger they're exposed to it, the more like mentally strong they will build themselves to be self-motivated for their futures overall.
Amazing. I'm
Yeah,
really excited to get this one-on-one stuff started, Lily.
me too. I'm really excited.